Okay, I'd like to call the. Oh, which. Yeah, I'd like to call the meeting to order on September 5th, 2023. Let's say 6:01 p.m. at the town hall upstairs. Okay, a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. So moved. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We have 1 minute, just one regular meeting, the minutes of August 21st. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of August 21st as presented? Yeah. If there are none, somebody make a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Second. Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay. Okay, we have a signed petition for the Cambridge Court intersection. And as I understand it, is not to have 3 stop signs. Is that correct?
Not to have 2 stop signs.
Not to have 2 stop signs?
Yeah. Well, we had agreed at the last public
So there
hearing.
are 3 stop signs. So that's right. 2. Right.
So the petition is to not have a stop sign coming from the Grafton side. The stop sign coming from Athens is going to stay. That's
So the petition is to keep it exactly as how it is there.
correct.
That's all I read. Does anyone want to talk about that? That's how I read the petition.
I'm concerned about that other additional stop sign. People will not be slowing down. Because if they're going to Athens, they speed up and go up that slight incline. So they're not reducing their speed. People on the bridge, they're supposed to yield. They can go left or right. But the people on the stop signs, or on the yield, they usually wait those people to come off the bridge. If you're not a skater, there's some confusion. Who does what? I like to see the stop sign.
So let me be clear, you want to have 2 stop signs?
Yes, sir.
That's what we just signed a petition for,
To have,
what you're talking about doing.
Yeah, your petition is to not put the 2 stop signs in.
Right.
That's what you decided last time. Now we're coming here, Kathy's saying, let's put a stop sign in. The petition's been signed. Orders have spoken.
But you have a petition that you don't want the stop sign in front of your
We
house,
want to keep it as it is now, a yield.
just to you.
Yes, it'd be nice if there was a sign before that said,
you want
yield to bridge traffic, yield to bridge traffic.
to keep it the same right now.
Yes, we're not changing.
I couldn't agree with you more personally.
We live there.
I mean, I've
It's
been
like
there-
Greece when
I've lived here over 40 years.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with it. I go through the intersection basically
stop signs do not.
twice a week, and that's it, yes.
I just, going by the statute, after receiving the petition, you should call, you have the option to decide to have an emergency meeting in 30 days to 40 days within receipt of the petition. I would just, since I would be I would be a proponent of the 2 to 3 stop signs, I would just urge for there to be another meeting in 30 to 40 days.
Our main concern in our house is we're the ones who are on the south side of the intersection, and people do not yield and they speed up. And if you're taking a left, especially, from the bridge going towards Athens, I mean, it's almost on a weekly basis, people do not yield. And that is our greatest concern about the safety and security of the citizens here.
So you want to have the 2 stop signs.
Well, at the last meeting, it was presented that the guidance of the sheriff's department and the state was to have a 3 to 2 stop sign intersection. That's the state guidance. the petitioners agreed to a 2-stop sign down from 3 stop signs. So to us, this is coming out of nowhere.
Can we read the petition? It's not going down, it says to keep the current yield and not, yes, could someone explain?
I understand it. What are we obligated to do? Because are we obligated to put this on
The
what are
option,
we obligated to
the
do?
options are. We can. Do nothing, which would, and it would stay as it is. The petition's been submitted, or we can warn within 30 days of the petition being submitted, we can warn a special town meeting, which has to happen within 60 days.
I guess my other concern is.
That's all right.
This is guidance from the state and the sheriff. What would be the implications if the town did not go with the guidance?
I don't know.
If
There's no real legal ramification of that.
there's some stop sign and someone blows through it and hits somebody and God forbid it's a minor accident, who's responsible?
The driver.
The driver.
Yes, and let's just stop with the foolishness. The driver is responsible, not the town of Grafton.
But there's no.
There's a yield sign and a stop sign.
Yes.
There's no.
Stop signs do not mitigate. And that is from the Department of Motor Vehicle. Let me finish, please.
Please, let her finish.
I agree that. If you put a stop sign there, they're still gonna speed up. They're gonna be in 4th gear by the time they get to your house. They blow by our house. Both ways. They're allowed by our house, both ways. The problem here is you're gonna put. Don't enforce.
Not a problem, I'll get there.
Hours of sheriff time a month. You don't enforce the current stop sign that's there. You don't enforce the yield sign that's there. So putting in another stop sign is you're creating more of an issue. Until you enforce all of the ordinances in town. Enforce the speed, enforce all the stops, enforce the yields.
Well, let me just say something. We can't enforce anything. We tell the sheriff to go out.
I'm not getting upset, I'm just telling you that.
Where he goes, we have no idea. But we have asked the sheriff to monitor stop signs and speeding in the village, all over.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have hired by the town of Grafton, the select board has hired the sheriff for 8 hours a month.
Correct.
Of the usage, if you go from like 7 AM to 9 PM, that's 1% a month. That he is patrolling, less than 1% a month, that he's patrolling all of our streets. Because the speeding is not just happening on 121,
Oh,
it's
I-
happening on Easton, it's happening on the other one. And someone's gonna get hurt.
I agree, and the select board is going to deal with sheriff's hours at the next, when we start our budget process. I think there might be a need, and I'm not speaking for the select board, but that's something we're gonna be taking a look at.
I can say because my wife and I went up with the petition, the people I talked to many people, I didn't know if they were for or against. One thing is speeding. Not about they came to a stop sign in town, someone almost T-boned because they read, it's the speeding.
Well,
Speeding is outrageous. There was a letter from the Grafton News, people out Grafton. I mean, from the sounds of it, it's almost like they want to move.
well,
That's what I think.
speeding is an issue all over the country, in small towns, big towns. And that's, we're aware of that, and that's why we're gonna address the issue of hours for the sheriff and bring it into the budget. I'm not gonna tell you what's gonna happen, but we're gonna certainly talk about it.
And I would wait and see if that helps. If we increase the sheriff's budget instead of 8 hours a month, if we increased it to 40 hours a month, I believe that would help.
I mean, I'm just, to me, it's laughable that we're arguing against a safety measure. The only people on the petition that this directly impacts on a day-to-day basis are the petitioners. There's only one household on that petition apartment there, that's within a mile of this intersection. This is about safety, not an inconvenience, not about NIMBYism. This is about safety. And but it looks as though it's just a not in my backyard issue.
We would have had more, but they're not registered.
We've lived there since 2003. Okay. I see what happens daily. We're the lighthouse people of the ocean, of that bridge. It's not like we're living out here in the village and we're listening to people. So I agree with you, Joe. To me, the analogy, you got carotid arteries, don't eat fried chicken. And that's what we're gonna do, that intersection, we're gonna stop, and yes, it will affect this personal. We'll be, maybe Vermont Life will come back and do an issue on our rural community, talking a stop sign at the end of our driveway. Where is that in Vermont? It's not needed. We know who the speeders are in town. I put a hurt on the kids and adults who are just mindlessly driving too fast. Do it for 2 weeks, put a hurt on it. No one drives back with Westminster West Road on 45. Nobody in this room, because we all know the sheriffs are there.
Okay,
It's speed, end of story, it's speed.
I agree. So look, we can talk, we heard this, what does the board want to do?
Well, we have two options. We can either do nothing, which will, when the intersection will stay the same. Or,
Yeah, we have to have a town meeting then.
no, or we can say, we warn a town meeting to discuss this issue again. And then we'll deal with the petition, and they'll make these arguments they're making tonight. And we'll have a town meeting again,
A town meeting or a hearing?
a special town meeting.
Well, that's what the petition says.
That's what, they would have a special town meeting to say, special town meeting, do we deal with the change that was already passed?
That's how I read it.
Yes, do we go with the change that was already passed, or do we follow what the district wanted? That's what, that would be the debate at the special town meeting. Because right now, the select board passed a measure, and under the guidance from the state, to have the 2 stop signs. Then the petitioners filed a petition to say keep it the same, as far as the stop signs go. So now our options are either we warn a special town meeting to discuss this issue again, or we just do nothing and this intersection will stay the same. That's what the statute reads to me.
And no matter what's decided, nothing can be done. We need consistent signage and markings, so anyone going through the intersection knows the rules of the road. Because it's inconsistent, speed wise, warning wise, and it feels like a free for all.
Yeah.
No matter what, consistent signage and markings are desperately needed.
This doesn't change the 500 speeders that are by our house every single day.
Look,
And ultimately, that's what we want to change before we have a wreck at this intersection.
Morgan, the way I summed it up, is that what you understood from the comments?
Yes.
I just, one more question, I thought that there was some discussion last meeting about proper signage.
Well, there is, and
It
we
was
haven't done,
we all agreed on.
we haven't done anything. We haven't changed the speed, we haven't put any proper signage. Because we had to wait in case there was a petition that came in or whatever, we don't want to put signs up and take it down.
So then we're gonna wait until this.
So, but yeah, that's what it said, that it was put up, just the proper signage. That was needed, whether it be yield signs, speed signs, whatever it takes to make the intersection, safe.
I'm just, how hard is it to find a sign in the town yard that says yield to bridge traffic, not yield ahead? People see yield ahead, they even see it, well, yield to what? I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know
know.
towns that say yield to bridge traffic, there's the bridge.
I'll be very honest, I don't know if you can do that, I don't know what the law is about certain kind of signage to put up, I'm honest,
There's a bridge and there's a yield.
yeah, I don't know, I know you can put up yield signs, but I don't know if you can yield to bridge sign, I don't know.
Like the issue that we decide on tonight is, do we want to have a special town meeting to debate this issue again, or do we do nothing and let it stay the same? That's really what we need to decide.
Yeah, but
The speed sign will be changing on September 18th.
And
There's no question about that.
Morgan made clear with looking at the correspondence with. This is, your petition only deals with stop sign, not the speed sign.
Oh, yeah.
Morgan, do you know where that speed limit sign is going to be?
It should be placed exactly where the 25.
That
Right.
25 was never there before,
I know, but where they currently are,
so therefore it's 40 through the intersection.
correct?
It's,
So it'd still be 25, we did 25 this way, 40 this way, and 35 this way, so it's not consistent speed through the road. Thank you.
That was something we mentioned last meeting, that it needs to be consistently and work through the towns to where it's the same speed in all directions. It's hard for the sheriffs to enforce it when there's multiple.
so, I guess one more question, if that's where the sign's gonna go. When this is figured out, is there gonna be a new sign, put like we're on Charlie Gates property, so they drop their speed from 50 to 35 before they hit the Bridgestone 50? That's the problem with people yielding and not stopping, they're going into our. You should be-
Mike, is there a yield sign before the bridge?
On Grafton side. There's a yield ahead and there's a yield sign there,
I'm talking Cambridge.
Cambridge Ford, and there was no sign there, not a yield.
There's no sign that says yield for the bridge.
No,
I'm only asking
it
that.
just warns of an intersection.
Bill Atwood called me. And said one of his suggestions was a yield sign before the bridge.
Yield sign.
So people
yield sign
know
before the
they have
bridge,
to-
Yielding at the bridge, because
Two,
there's no yield sign there on the bridge. There's nothing on the bridge.
Before the bridge.
Yeah, that would be confusing because you're not dealing with shit at the bridge.
yes, that would be even more.
You don't want any more signs than have to have, because it just becomes.
I understand, I understand, and when I see the yield sign, I stop. Before I go over the bridge,
Right,
but a lot of people don't, if they don't, there's no traffic, they just go, which, yeah.
That's what it is.
There's no traffic.
That's the law, basically.
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you're supposed to yield for somebody there, if there's nobody there, you don't have to yield, I mean, that's the law. All right, so what does the board want to do? Someone want to make a motion or something here, so we can move on?
Sounds like, this sounds like there are very strong feelings both ways.
Yeah.
On this. I mean, the Parkers are obviously, they're very passionate on this issue, and they have every right to, and they did what they're supposed to do, they signed a petition. These folks also feel very passionate about this issue, and I'm sure. Yeah,
Where the spur lots on the.
squirrel, so
Or the other house.
So maybe
I see your email, I'm sorry, just blank.
Family we're.
Yeah,
we're
it's the act-
Yeah,
Young kids. Young kids, you got young kids down on the farm too.
Where.
I mean, we don't use the school bus because of this. There is no way for a vehicle to stop in time. At the school bus pickup. Our child was almost flipped.
Our 14-year-old.
Our 14-year-old was almost flipped. Our 13-year-old was almost flipped. We can no longer do the bus, and we can no longer do the bus as long as there's no stop sign.
We just don't feel comfortable.
Look, maybe we could just have a special time meeting. That's the question.
I think now, we'll have a special town meeting, whatever comes about that, that's gonna be our binding.
That's it.
The town decide.
And then we'll, and another, I think the biggest point here, what you just said it there, just to reinforce it, that we're gonna look into and at least put up for a vote during our next town meeting, our regular town meeting, if we want to enhance the sheriff.
Right, that'll be in the budget.
And if that fails, then, I mean, I don't get to have before, so, you
We'll
know.
try it again.
Now,
I think how passionate people feel about this issue, I think we have to let the town decide this.
Okay, so somebody want to
I agree.
make a motion that we have, that we.
I'll move that special.
File the petition and then call a special time.
How do, I move that the special town meeting on this issue.
Any other discussion?
How's it gonna be written as far as a warrant? Is it going to be keeping the same or the town is
Well,
changing?
exactly, don't you use a petition that was submitted as the?
It'll be an article and it will be able from the floor.
Right, but I mean, the language comes from the petition that they.
So it should be covered. I want people to know that it's.
Right.
Yeah, and then both sides can make their case.
You know, one more thing, I probably should have something before, and I don't know the answer to this. That petition, that met the criteria of what percentage had to be too complicated.
The petition was perfectly valid.
Good,
So all in favor, say aye.
Ah,
Opposed? Okay, special town meeting will be, and we'll inform everybody.
it has to be scheduled, Joe, within
Yeah, I know,
30, no more than 40 days.
right, so we'll have to figure out what we expect as we go.
We will be out of the country, so. Within 30 days.
Well, you know, I don't know, we have followers with that, the law says. We have 2 bids to open. Rich?
the first one is for the front walkway
Yeah.
at Town Hall, from Nathaniel Noyes.
Yeah,
To replace 10 feet of damaged concrete in front of the post office, use the reclaimed granite, $2,000, use a new granite, $1,700.
I'll explain, just keep going.
Seems like it should be done often. Going full 45 feet of the curbing, $6,000, using old, $5,200, using new. Sidewalk would stay and be repaired up to the curbing as necessary, pavement would be repaired. Pavement would be repaired as need be to the curbing. Then he's got, someone has a little note on the screw that's presented. If doing the whole length using new would be okay. If only doing a smaller piece, the old refurbished would look less repaired. So that's,
how much is the whole thing?
So,
yeah, explanation.
yeah, we met with him and he looked at the front walkway and he said the worst part of it is right in front of the post office. So the first price, the 2,000 and 1,700, I think it is.
Yeah.
That is for just that piece, and it's just the front section, it's not the entire walkway. If you were to do the full length, so the full length of the building, then that's the other places. The reason that the old or the reclaimed granite is more expensive is his explanation was that it passes through more people and more people handle it. It's rather than new.
So what is the price to do the whole thing?
The price to do the whole thing, for-
6,000 for old, 5,200 for new.
that includes labor, that's the whole project.
Did he say anything about if we repair it, it's not as good as is it gonna break down prematurely?
I mean, he recommends putting the granite there just because it can withstand the salt and any damage from like a plow in the winter. He said the granite will last a lot longer and. I mean, for that price, I think to just patch the sections, it's probably gonna be not as effective, you know, to do the.
Is that the only bid on that project?
Record Concrete also bid on it.
Yeah, he gave a refusal.
He gave a refusal.
Okay,
Stoneman Masonry Company. Fortunately, time constraint will not allow us, so it's just with him. He's the only game in town for that one.
okay. What's, so that's the only bid so far, correct?
That's the only bid, yes.
So what about the stone wall of the village pump?
Let us see. We've got. Let's see, I work people from maintenance, small wall repair. $4,950. Estimate for pump house comes from Nathaniel Noyes. Masonry estimate for pump house small wall repair to repair system. River wall approximately 60 feet. To go from existing concrete wall to 50 feet of water will be diverted away from the work area. Wall portion of the wall to be picked from the river, relayed as a wall of week time. I don't know what that means. For project stone bought in will match what their cost. Excuse me, $20,000.
$20,000? Are we sure we're talking about the same thing?
What he says. Broke your heart, it broke the road, yeah. There was a third one, Mike Wageville, but I do not have the time to do the job. Thank you for the offer. So the fatal noise necessary, $20,000.
Okay, so basically, our policy is that we just,
We'll wait.
we'll wait until the next meeting. And
Yeah, because Ivor says he's gonna fix 20 feet, the thing says it's 60 feet. So there's, I don't know what the bid sheet was.
I haven't looked at this wall, and I don't know if it's, so maybe Mike, we can see what, you know, we could talk about it, and see actually, what they actually.
That's about,
Yeah,
It almost seems like did they both look the same?
It was just word of mouth. We didn't write up a
Oh,
bid sheet for it, but I guess it's something that we'll have to
okay,
look into.
all right, so,
Is this gonna storm damage?
yeah,
That's what it's gonna be?
it's all done, yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
hadn't seen it.
the town hall, no, but the fill pump, yes,
Yeah, okay.
That's under the FEMA, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Oh, that's good news.
Yeah.
Sure, the sidewalk was damaged on the thing.
No, I wish it would. Okay,
I think I could walk there.
the previous bid. What is your recommendation?
I don't think you have a choice.
Oh,
Well, you're not doing anything with it, the only thing you're doing is the paving.
You have more bids?
no, those are.
this is the old one that we,
Oh, okay.
sorry, my.
So you,
Yes.
will accept the bid, I don't know if they have a choice, I don't think.
As far as the paving, no, you're pretty much, that's all you got.
Right.
So just got the one.
Because they were the only ones that.
I think,
There's only one bid for it.
I spoke to John, the state said they're fine with that as long as you did the proper bidding and it's all been, you know, done properly, so the state will pay for it. And FEMA will pay for it, even though it's highway robbery, but that's the way it is.
As a taxpayer, it doesn't make you feel so good, but
I know.
what can you do?
Not much you can do. So Mike, you have anything on the highway report?
I need a motion to accept. those.
Oh, we have, sorry, yeah, most to accept Basin's, brother, repair of Fisher Hill and State Aid Road. 121. So moved. All in favor?
Second.
A second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, Mike, go ahead.
So the Hinkley Brook culvert, box culvert's done except the guardrails. Jamie started on one on Putnam Forest, they put in the temporary bridge today. So he'll be proceeding on that, as soon as he gets done that, he said he's gonna go up and do the culvert at Dick DeRoche's, which we have everything that we thought to do. We have a 30-inch culvert to repair up on replace up on Cobell Road. Beavers help push that one down the road, so. Then we're back to grading and our mowing. Start getting ready for winter. And come fast and hard.
The only other thing is that John asked me to tell everybody that, not to do anything with the bid to fix the Bell Road culvert until FEMA comes, and FEMA's coming on Monday. Because if FEMA doesn't approve it, then we can't do it. If they do, then probably that bid is probably gonna be useless anyway. Because it's probably not gonna be done this year, so we'll have to deal with that. So if that's okay with everybody, that's where it's gonna be. The hold it there, and FEMA gives the okay.
Right. So you have the funding.
If that area sticks like that, where can we talk about it?
Well, we'll do something with it more winter.
That's the one that's been damaged, right?
What's that?
Is that the box culvert?
No,
Yeah,
it's an
it's an old stone culvert, well, it's a stone culvert, a boiler tube and a few other things stuck in the ground.
been put in there years and years ago.
The only thing historic about it is it fails, so.
And if FEMA doesn't approve it, then we'll just have to fix it the best that we can.
Right.
And hope that someday it fails again.
Don't fix it too good, so it washes away the whole thing for them.
Kim, you have anything?
No, I don't, I'll give an update on where we stand with the storm. Right now we've had the flood administration is costing us 19,000. Overtime is costing us 1887. Contractors 536,773. For a total of flood is costing $557,660. We're okay holding our own for right now. I haven't yet paid the school. And when that happens, I may, in the next 2 weeks, I may have to dip into the 1 million. But we're doing okay right now. Or when the paving starts. Other than that, we need to, next meeting, I'll give quarterly, so I'll give everybody ahead of time. On the expenditure report, so you can see where we stand on a quarterly basis for the fiscal year. On everything else, and we can keep in mind for the next one to start scheduling the budget meetings. So, have calendars for,
We'll get some
Thank you.
date, we'll get some date for the next meeting, yeah.
other than that, that's all we have.
Morgan, remember to remind me, set some date.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions or anything else? Okay. Do we have any committee reports of personnel? Oh, no. Any other business? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Just let you know that the cemeteries, the stones have been completed. Mike Reesville is, submitted his paperwork. Total $2,486 or $84 to, do 3/4 of the stone work, and there's still, kind of more cemeteries to do that will pick up next year, and hopefully the trustee and public funds will consider covering the remainder.
Another business, I had a meeting with Bob Donald this morning, this afternoon, I guess. And the Women Foundation has agreed that they would cover 50% of the cost of the culvert that runs through the town that is in question. So I guess the next step, and I'll kind of talk to John about it, is that we probably should figure out with the highway committee, whatever, how best go about it, because you're gonna have to go on people's land, you're gonna have to get permission. There's a lot of other issues that we're gonna have to deal with, and it's not just a simple replacement of culvert like you do on the road, there's all kinds of wires and whatever, so. But at least now that we know that the foundation is on board, so they're gonna cover half of the cost, whatever that ends up being.
Was there,
Verbal agreement or is it in writing?
I didn't get anything ready yet, but it's verbal to the,
is there any discussion, long-term responsibility or 10 years on the road?
well, I guess if we both fix it, then we're both responsible for the long term, I imagine.
I'm just wondering that, I hate to even say this, but what Bill was saying, if we own it, if it does fail catastrophically, we'd have better luck. And the get grant money for it. I don't know.
But we don't have to deal with it, I mean, we're not, right now, nothing has to happen,
Right.
but they agreed that they would pay for 50%.
Guys, for this. Short term,
That's to renew the whole culvert.
Excuse me?
That's to renew the whole
Yeah,
thing,
and replace it,
from the ball field all the way down.
you got it,
And is there any kind of time frame?
no? I guess whenever it's needed. I mean, I guess if it fails, in 2 days, I guess you're gonna have to replace it. If it doesn't fail for the next 2 years, I guess you leave it alone.
what if one person that has private property says, "I'm not gonna dig a pipe down."
That's a whole issue.
That's what happens.
That's an issue that I think that has to be
Yeah.
conducted.
It gets sticky.
I mean, you just can't go on somebody's
Right.
personal property. I mean, they might have trees in the way, they might have
Yeah.
planters on top of it. I mean, I don't know. That's why I say. The only thing that we know right now is they will cover half the cost if and when it's done. Yes, Ken?
Have you dug in deeper into, our attorney versus
Yes.
their attorney?
They haven't used their attorney yet. They're planning to use him. Their attorney had a stroke. But they haven't used, our attorney yet. And I don't, personally, I don't see a conflict at the moment. Unless we get into a legal issue, I mean, they're not, they have their own separate entity.
So can this, I mean, even if repairs don't need to be done, like you said, possibly in 2 years, maybe it would be an idea to at least have the agreement all drawn up and done before anybody moves offices and then.
Well, we should
It'll
have,
be like.
we should have,
before this left.
we should have the agreement done, as soon as possible. So that we get to come in from Bob Donald, that the foundation will do that, yes, absolutely.
Okay, before he moves.
Yeah, no. And he's not leaving until next summer.
I know, but if you're not gonna do.
No,
repairs in
no,
2 years.
We need to come in and write it, I understand that, but I met with him today, so we finally we were waiting for an answer, which we hadn't gotten. So. Don't think that.
But didn't each of the landowners granted easement when it was first put in? That's my understanding at least.
It was really
Wasn't
full-fledged
really.
easement, it was just like a granted handwritten permission
Yeah,
that you may put. this in.
it's gotta be a whole new, I mean, if and when this thing happens, you're gonna have to get letters and you're gonna have, it has to be marked out. Where the culvert goes and I wouldn't worry about that at this moment because nothing's gonna happen.
There'll be surveyed, there's no wow.
This time around, that's still right by the book, right by the rules.
Yeah, right.
I have one thing that this is what I thought. Someone anonymously, which is to stay, which is to stay anonymous. Asked if the Act 250 was changed down to the, like, David station. That's cutting the wood down there in Hanningport.
I have no idea.
We have heard, I guess, the hours they're working when they're not supposed to be working and blah, 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 whatever the situation is. And I was asked if that was, if I had any knowledge that they got different permission now that the building apparently has changed hands or something. I know they were trying to something, but
As far as we're
I
concerned,
think it's so, and I think he was buying the building, and he wanted to do his work inside.
yeah, that's there's been no notification to the town if there are changes. And if there is, there's generally a letter.
I said I would ask if I didn't know anything about it.
But if there's gonna be a change, it won't be no.
Yeah, nothing's coming in. it's fine.
If you hear something, let me know and I'll
Okay.
pass it along.
There hasn't been a change in ownership yet, it's still in the works. But there has been a notification on the bulletin board that I had to hang on that Scott brought in some time ago. In fact, I just took it down today because it's been there since, oh gosh, I can't remember when,
Like the spring.
in the spring. It's on the lister's desk, I can bring it up to you before you guys leave, and you can see exactly what it reads. But it has to do with the state made us post it for God knows how long, 60 days at least. I just took it down this morning to put in his file, so I'll let you read that. It's gonna has anything to do with Act 250. I can't remember.
Joe, we mentioned about electing a delegate for the. VLC.
Oh, yeah, we need to have a delegate to attend the VLCT annual meeting. Does anybody have any desire to go? Burlington, September 26th,
Yeah, 27.
and 27th.
I am going to go.
Yeah.
But
And if nobody wants to go, we can appoint her to be the voting member from the board. Unless one of the board members can attend.
I'm booked.
All right, so then let's make a motion here. So that Morgan can pass the vote for the town at the VLT's annual meeting. Somebody make that motion.
I'll make it. Second.
If there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Any public comment? If not, the next regular meeting will be September 18th here at 6 p.m. Don't forget tomorrow at 6 o'clock is the 60% wastewater. And I would encourage everybody to come and listen to what they have to say. So you can be informed, and if that is true. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
So,
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
I don't think we have-